Guys don't put those pills that they get to the girls in the champagne bottles because they popping them in front of them.
Combs faces 3 federal charges: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs has pleaded not guilty to those charges. In an unsealed indictment, prosecutors allege Combs, quote, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him.
But he said he woke up and Diddy told him he had him. He said he went, he filed the report, but they threw it up under the cops swept it up under the rug and everything like that.
Really no deal that the U.S. Attorney's Office can offer, and it's certainly not one that Diddy will accept. It would involve decades in federal prison. We're talking about mandatory minimum sentences of 10 years for both the drug.
If you've been keeping up with the Diddy scandal in recent months, you might have heard the wild theory suggesting he has secret tunnels beneath his Miami home for stealthy escapes. However, that claim appears to be unfounded. There's a lengthy list of other crimes he has been linked to. Let's rewind to March when federal investigators raided 3 of Diddy's properties. At that time, all we knew was that the operation was connected to a sex trafficking crime.
Because Haley, you could see the perimeter has been set up in that neighborhood to keep just the public back from the work that's being done. And there you have the shot from Sky Fox. Again, these heavily armed vehicles right next to all those luxury cars. You already see a Porsche, a G-Wagon, so many luxury cars right there on that property. So it is a very differing juxtaposition there of what you're seeing. But look at this mansion here in Holmby Hills where the raid is taking place. Again, we don't know what exactly they're looking for, who they're looking for, but again, this could possibly be linked to a sex trafficking investigation involving rapper Sean Combs, the music executive. But as you heard from Haley right there, she believes, and she's been hearing, that we do not think that Sean Combs is on that property at home right now. He may be in New York as this raid is being conducted. But we do know from our reporting that over the course of the year already, just as early as March this year, there have been several lawsuits filed against Sean Combs.
The raid left Diddy bewildered, and subsequent reports reveal the shocking condition of his home.
Video, Diddy slowly pacing outside Miami's private jet facility at 3 p.m. yesterday via TMZ as Homeland Security raided mansions on both coasts.
Following the raids, rapper Ferrado remarked that everyone in the music industry is similar to Diddy. He's just the one currently under scrutiny. This echoes Jaguar Wright's comments, where she referred to Diddy as the acceptable monster of our time.
You know this industry. You've seen the inside of this industry. When you saw this news break, what was your unvarnished opinion on what was going on?
It's not surprising to me because he's just one of a million. They're all like this. The whole industry's like this. This is why I decided to change over. You know, one time I did make degenerate music, and it started really changing my mind when I started coming for Trump. I told you it was about Trump being a boss. Trump had the women, he had the lifestyle. I started going to the rally. I saw all these little kids running up to me saying they love my music. And I'm like, man, they're really paying attention to what I'm rapping about. So maybe I should use my voice for the better. And that's what I did. But I wasn't surprised. I mean, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They let movies come out every single day. You're talking to someone that's been banned for rapping about positivity and rapping about our country and rapping about changing the youth. If I rapped about the old stuff I rapped about, I'd be promoted. They'd be loved. You know, I had all my social medias then. I had YouTubes then. I had all this stuff. So it's just the culture's being controlled by Hollywood. And there's bigger ups. Diddy's just the fall guy.
Why does Puffy? Why now? Because he's the acceptable monster. At this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. So who's next? Y'all don't see the lineup? Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Jaguar also disclosed that the agents conducting the raids were kept in the dark about whom they were targeting to prevent any leaks. Despite this, some believe someone tipped Diddy off, suggesting he either used the rumored secret tunnels to flee or left his home beforehand.
States working in tandem, and they did not tell the officers who they were raiding. They went in tactical as they were instructed to. They didn't know they was raiding Diddy's house. The higher-ups didn't tell anybody because they knew, with Diddy being a Fed informant, that he had people in the force and they wanted to make sure that went through legit. So they ain't tell nobody whose houses they was going to.
That's why you see the guns.
The cops didn't know that it was Diddy's house over there in Beverly Hills around the corner from the Playboy Mansion. They didn't know until they seen the kids.
Shifting to the reason why Diddy might have needed secret tunnels, it ties back to his notorious outbursts and the unsettling activities that took place during them. It's become clear that these parties were far more sinister than previously imagined. Jane Deal shared a troubling account of how attendees at these gatherings ensured they could drug the girls present.
Don't put those pills that they get to the girls in the champagne bottles because they popping them in front of them. Most of those girls, especially if they like mixed drinks, you understand, they see the bottles when they open them and they trying to keep their eyes on because they don't want to get no kind of drugs put in their system. But what they don't understand is in the orange juice and it's in the cranberry juice. They didn't put the pills and the stuff in there, the roofies, the ecstasy, the E's, all whatever they put it in the juice. Now, those girls who like the mixed drinks, you understand what I'm saying? They're gonna pour their own sexual act because they don't understand it ain't in the bottles, it's in the juice. Those guys, they learn that and they put it to those girls who don't know no better.
Amid the ongoing federal prosecution, many believe that higher-ups are intentionally protecting certain individuals. Notably, the indictment doesn't mention figures like Lucy and Grange, who were also allegedly involved in the disturbing incidents.
Tonight, they arrested P. Diddy. News just broke that they took him into custody in New York City, so I figured now's as good a time as any to shit all over Sean again and remind everyone just how horrible this man is. So if you haven't read the court documents and done any of the other research on this guy, this producer he worked with named Lil Rod brought this lawsuit against him. Rodney Jones v. Sean Combs, alleging RICO allegation, which is like organized crime. And he alleged that a member of this RICO organization was none other than the CEO of Universal Music Group, Lucian Grange. Universal Music Group produced 1/3 of the top 100 songs last year, including Taylor Swift. Quote, while living and traveling with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones discovered that Combs had hidden cameras in every room of his homes. Mr. Jones believed that Mr. Combs had recordings of defendants Lucian Charles Grange, Ethiopia Haber, as well as other celebrities, music label executives, politicians, and athletes.
However, that doesn't imply they're inactive. It appears they have collected substantial evidence regarding the experiences of victims who were subjected to these disturbing incidents against their will.
Abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances, male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel.
The indictment also disclosed a lengthy inventory of ammunition and disturbing paraphernalia discovered during the raids on Diddy's properties.
Special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contained images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
KY stock going up.
Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well that we recovered 3 AR-15s.
Many anticipate that others will be implicated alongside Diddy. It seems likely that some Hollywood figures will be caught in the fallout due to their connections with the rapper. However, those wielding power behind the scenes may still find a way to evade consequences.
You gotta realize, man, he learned from Andre Harrell. He learned from Russell Simmons. He learned from Clyde Davis. You understand? When those people are telling you that they were heavy into the drugs, they was heavy into beating women and doing things at that age, at that crazy stage, that's gonna make him think that he could get away with the same thing that they was getting away with back then. You understand? The things that he was saying, you know, the touchy-feely between two men and all that stuff like that, man. All that, he learned that from them dudes. When I told y'all the story, when me and my man went up to Russell Simmons and he had a house and he had a man in bikini drawers in his bedroom, in his bed. You understand? Bruh, this is that he learned. I'm assuming he learned it.
CNN's senior legal analyst stated that Diddy faces a minimum of 15 years in prison. He noted that while Diddy's lawyers may argue there are no witnesses claiming they were coerced into participating in the party videos, multiple testimonies will be challenging to refute. Additionally, he outlined how federal prosecutors might leverage racketeering charges to bring Diddy down.
If I had to guess, I would say the district judge will agree with the magistrate judge and keep Sean Combs locked up. First of all, the law says that when a person's facing the charges Sean Combs is facing, the presumption is that he gets locked up pending trial. So the field is automatically tilted in the prosecution's favor. He is looking at a minimum of 15 years behind bars if he's convicted. The prosecutors argue that. And finally, prosecutors argued intensely that Sean Combs is engaged in constant obstruction of justice, intimidating witnesses, bribing witnesses, and that usually strikes a chord with judges when they're considering bail. First of all, they have videotape. We've all seen the videotape of the assault on one of those women who's alleged to be a victim. That's going to be a really tough piece of evidence for the defense. And if you look beyond the indictment, there was a companion document filed today that says that prosecutors have talked to and plan to call dozens of victims and witnesses. So even if the defense can discredit one or two or three, they're going to have to deal with dozens of victims pointing the finger at Sean Combs. Quite effectively, I think. What prosecutors have done here is allege that Sean Combs was at the head of an organization, a racketeering organization, a criminal enterprise that committed multiple crimes that were connected to one another. And what that allows you to do as a prosecutor is to pour in evidence of all manner of crimes. And here prosecutors allege that Sean Combs committed this enterprise by committing assault, extortion, drug trafficking, with firearms offenses, with obstruction of justice. And so you end up as a prosecutor able to put this massive evidence of various types of crimes in front of a jury. So it's a lot for defense lawyers to respond to, and it really is an advantage for prosecutors if they can prove the core allegations.
As the public watches to see how the federal case unfolds, many are celebrating what they perceive as the beginning of justice for Diddy's victims.
I want my perp walk. I'm feeling like Lil Wayne right now. I feel like I'm getting cheated. I want the perp walk. I want the twisty ties. I want him on the ground. I want people putting his head into the car. I want that. That's what they did to the kids.
Yeah, there's never been an image of Diddy in handcuffs.
No, we need that. We need that. I need that perp walk. So as I keep reaching out to victims, I can let them know it's safe to come outside. Should I? You know what? I'm going to say it again. Because there might be some people who have never been through here to the blue couch. These niggas is wild. They procure bitches to do damage and wild shit. Like, it was something like that I said. Why don't nobody ever want to believe me?
Oh. Without question.
Jamil Jamal said it himself. Jaguar sat on the couch and said he put the boots to that girl, and y'all said she was a liar, and then we seen it, and then y'all just said, I want my perp walk. That's all I want. The only thing that's going to make any of this hoopla worth it is if he does a perp walk, if he gets put into a car, if he is treated like the criminal that he is on camera.
However, Diddy isn't going down without a fight. While it may not change the outcome, he is actively contesting the charges and is currently seeking bail.
Diddy Combs spent the night in jail, and in a few hours, he'll be back in court asking a judge to release him on bail. It follows a slew of federal sex charges against the music mogul. Combs' lawyers say that their client would put up $50 million for bond. He and his family have surrendered their passports, and he says he would agree to home detention with restrictions on visitors, and he would submit to weekly drug tests. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles live at the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. And Darla, it seems like he's trying to argue that he's trustworthy and can be released.
Will the feds release more details about Diddy's house raids, potentially revealing even more troubling information? We'll have to wait and see. That's all for now. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for updates.